Hey, what's up, podcast? It's Jeff. Just want to jump in here. This is a special bonus episode of Teach Better Talk. This is actually going to be the audio recording from a Facebook Live that our team is doing every single day, Monday through Friday, at 8 a.m. Eastern Time in our Facebook private group. You can get in that group at teachbettergroup.com or go on to Facebook and just search Teach Better Team. You'll see our page and then you'll see the group. Get in there. So here we go, a special bonus episode of Teach Better Talk pulled from one of our Facebook Live videos in our private group at teachbettergroup.com. Hope you enjoy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Hans releases a book day. It's official. Today is now a holiday. That's what it's called. That's the name I came up with. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm Jeff with Teach Better Team. I've got Miss Ray Hewart with me, and we are celebrating not only the sort of end of our daily drop-ins, which have been so much fun, but also, and I think far more importantly, the release of Hans' brand new book, Award-Winning Culture. It's on there. I double-checked Amazon. It's there. Like, it's legit. It's on there. And your name's there and everything. It's like actually you, which is great. So good morning, Ray. And Hans, good morning, sir. You're up super early to be with us today.
So this is what 5 a.m. feels like for you guys. All right, cool.
Is that what it feels?
5 a.m. right now.
So good morning to you, sir.
I am so pumped.
We're pumped to have you here. As we start to welcome some people in there, like, how are you feeling right now? Like, what's the initial feeling this morning?
Adrenaline is high.
Fair.
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
I feel like we're going to call you author Hans Apple. Like, that will just be how we will talk about you forever now. First book out this morning. I did wake up this morning to my alarm clock at 5 a.m. and I was like, today's the day. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. That's awesome to hear. Author, that's a weird word. I think that's a little bit better than what Jeff usually says about me. So that's good.
You and me both, brother. You and me
All
both.
Right.
Good morning, Adam. Always awesome to see you. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Bree. Good morning, Joe. Alex, what's up, buddy? Holly Stewart. I don't know if we can do this unless Holly jumps in. Like, I don't think it's allowed. I think it's illegal unless Holly's here. So thanks for allowing us to do this, Holly. It's pretty cool. So, Ray, how are you doing? I didn't really ask you.
I'm doing so wonderful because I'm so excited for Hans. This has been an entire build-up, not only all the work you put in writing the book, but all week we've been showcasing the book and highlighting you as a new author, Hans, and I'm so glad that we're finally here. It is truly a day of celebration, and I don't know any other way that we could have planned to have our last daily drop-in without celebrating you and your new book. You planned this perfectly, Hans. Nice job.
Yeah, it was well
Absolutely.
done.
Yeah, that totally planned. Yeah, no, I'm just so grateful for you guys. I mean, you guys have been amazing this week, and just, all the love and support. It's just been incredible, guys.
Good morning to Kristen as well, and Megan. Good morning. She says, so excited for you, Hans.
Yes.
If you are listening right now on Teach Better Talk podcast, this is the last bonus episode of the daily drop-ins. However, if you get in the group, you can still go back and watch all the videos. It's also on YouTube. So make sure you get to teachbettergroup.com, get in the group, or just search Teach Better Team on Facebook. I'm excited because it's been really cool this last week and a half. I think it's been, Ray. We're not just going in our group right now. We're in our group. We're on our page. We're on the Facebook channel. We're on Periscope, Twitter, and we're on Twitch. Like, I think most of us don't even know that we're on Twitch, but we're on Twitch.
It's really intentional because as we were doing these daily drop-ins, we love serving our Facebook community. We have an amazing group you can join at teachbettergroup.com. But to be honest, we also have networks that exist other places. Yeah. And so being able to now have a program that serves them is awesome, especially for this big announcement, this big celebration. We got to be everywhere.
Yes, agreed. Dave Schmitto is in the house, says Hans is a marketing genius. And Lindsay Titus says good morning. So good morning, everybody. So we're going to do a few things. So we're going to talk, obviously, about the book. We're going to make Hans answer a bunch of questions. And then we're going to give away, right? We did five people that are going to get free books today.
It's awesome.
Which is really awesome. So super pumped for that. Alex is asking, are you going back to twice weekly updates for Teach Better Talk, Jeff and Ray? Yeah, so it's going to go back to the two interview episodes every week like we always do. There'll probably be an additional bonus, but it's going to go back down to just one for now.
One bonus episode.
We'll see what happens after that. So,
you all know that Jeff Gargis literally wants to put out a podcast episode, some sort of live video every single day. So we can put bets on how long this whole thing lasts until we're at this doing it again.
I have ideas for other types of bonus material on the podcast, but if you guys are all loud enough, I'll have a lot of leverage to push and make sure we come back to doing this. So see, somebody mentioned, it was Adam, I think, mentioned last night that maybe a good idea would be like come August, we can do like a 1 or 2 week daily drop-ins for like coming back into the school year. So like maybe that's something we'll do. I don't know.
Here's the suggestion for all of you listening that want to help me keep my sanity. Subscribe to Teach Better Talk podcast. Get the 2 episodes, get the bonus episode, and then go listen to award-winning culture podcast.
Yes.
That will be your 4th episode of the week. You got a lot of options here, and then you get more Hans in your life, which is really what you want.
I'm not sure what Adam's getting at, but he does say #JeffCast. So just saying. Dave Schmitto says he's going to have to find someone new to drink coffee with in the morning because we're going to be gone. Bree says she can't believe it's the last day. Amanda, good morning. Amanda Post said, good morning. Shannon Boggles here. Shannon, awesome to see you. Someone else says more.
It's Dave Schmitto.
Is that Schmitto saying more and more and more? Stop it, Dave. He's spamming us. You're going to get kicked. I'll give you 2. Alex gives us 2 weeks before we come back and do something silly like that. So I'll keep typing more until Ray agrees to do more. Okay, there you go. Kaplan, good morning. What's up, Atlanta? More podcasts from Jeff. Adam wants more podcasts from Jeff. Notice he didn't say from Jeff and Ray, just from Jeff. Adam, I don't know if you have or not, but you need to listen to Word Culture. It's an awesome podcast with Hans and Jennifer. And we were talking about this the other night, and I said it, and Ray and I have said it to each other a bunch. It's literally like you just jumped on Hans' shoulder and just kind of went on the walk with him. It's
less creepy. Less creepy than that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy if you think about it. Well, I'm envisioning myself as like a really small, like I got shrunk first.
I got it.
So like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So like that's cool. If I was just on your shoulder right now, it'd be a little weird.
Do you ever have a moment where you just hope Jeff stops talking and we can get back to Hans's new book today? Anybody else?
I'm still saying good morning to
I wrote
audience,
a book, just in case anyone wanted to know.
Yeah, Hans, that was like
that was yesterday.
That was like 7 minutes ago. We're so over that. No, okay, so I'm done. I won't even talk about the person that just said congratulations. So excited about the book because I don't want to talk. No. Hans, we talked the other night. I got to go live with you, and we talked forever afterwards just about like the excitement around it and the process and the stuff like that. So I'm curious to know, we already know how you're feeling right now. How are you feeling last night when you were trying to go to sleep?
Sleep? what is that?
Good answer.
Yeah. No, I was pretty amped up last night. I was excited. It's a big day, right? I mean, it's the launch day. We've done all the pre-sale all week and all the build up, but today really feels like the real thing, Seeing it on my Kindle this morning was like, whoa, that's weird.
Yeah. That's awesome. that's really cool. I have to butt in again to say that Alex is hearing that Hans is giving piggyback rides at Teach Better 20. So just
sweet.
Just saying it, just laying it out there. Ray, you talk for a minute.
Well, actually, I wanted Hans, if you don't mind, we've done lives all week long. Chad and Megan went live on Monday. You and I went live on Tuesday. Jeff went live with you Wednesday. We were live talking about things Thursday. Now we're here Friday. I know you've shared about the book a lot, but especially if you're listening to this on Teach Better Talk podcast as a bonus episode, or if you just have not missed, you've just not caught the lives because they've been in the evening versus the morning when a lot of our network has kind of tuned in for this daily drop-in. What's the name of the book? What's it about? Why is this something that should be in our Amazon carts if we didn't pre-order it before this morning?
First of all, who couldn't have already seen all the lives? They've been everywhere. Like, come on. Award-winning Culture is the name of my book. It's everywhere right now. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. You can even go to our website and get signed copies at awardwinningculture.com. It's essentially like a school-wide school culture and climate book. So it's like I really wrote it for basically all educators to kind of like inspire people to create joyful learning experiences. And so there's a lot of whole child work in it. There's SEL, there's character work. it really is kind of our blueprint at our school, which, has served us really awesomely and, allowed us to win a lot of awards, and so we took that and basically trying to help support other educators around the country. So.
Yeah, I do want to encourage anybody listening now. We're going to definitely talk about the book here, but Hans, you truly did share a lot of sneak peeks, a lot of tidbits in the other live videos we've done. We did stream those on our Facebook page, in our Facebook group, and on Twitter all week long. So it's totally worth going and hunting those down because I know you share different stories every time. And that's what I loved about this book. I did get a preview of it before. Spoiler alert, I did get a sneak peek. And I really loved that it was full of just incredibly impactful stories, but also the takeaways that you could literally go implement tomorrow in your classroom, in your school building, district-wide, that make massive impacts on student success. And I'm just so excited for people to finally be able to get their hands on it.
No, that's awesome to hear. I think I shared a copy early on with Neil Gupta, who you guys had on the other day on a daily drop-in, and his words were the stories helped kind of like anchor, right, the big ideas, and I think that's kind of what we're going for a lot of times in storytelling, right? Is how do we make it so that those ideas really crystallize with the reader? So that's what we were shooting for. Yeah,
Hans, I saw that Jeff showed the comment from Michelle. She's asking about what grade levels it applies to. Like, is this a book that if I'm a high school teacher, I can't really get any takeaways because it's really focused on that middle school mindset? Is this a book that if I teach first grade, I'm not going to be able to use my classroom, or can it really span K-12?
Absolutely. It is 100% K-12 without 100%. A doubt. Yes. It is our lens, as far as middle school picture, but almost everything in the book applies at any level. So it's pretty powerful stuff. And I think one of the highlights that I have for the book is that it really focuses on the experiential learning and, teaching teachers how to get in there and really work, to give their students the opportunity to experience something hands-on and then reflect on that. And I don't think that's limited to a certain age group at all, right?
No, and we've talked about that, Jeff. I know you and I, and also Hans, I think we've had conversations as well. Like, good instruction is good instruction. Yes, it looks different in a second grade classroom. Yes, it does look different in a sophomore English class. But strong instruction, good, positive school culture, all those elements exist K-12. You just need to find the right way to target it for your audience. And I actually think, Hans, although I know you're a middle school guy, I actually think this book has a lot of pieces that are very easily adaptable for any grade level. And I don't know that was even necessarily intentional, but the stories, you can see a different age student going through the same experience because everyone loves to feel welcomed. Everyone loves to feel like they have a purpose. And it's perfect for anyone. I'm so excited for people to read it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, like one of the ideas that we talk about in the book quite a bit is our student-led podcast, which I know you guys are both passionate about podcasting. But again, that's not a concept that's limited to middle school. We have kids down in the second grade levels that are podcasting. And obviously, high school kids are podcasting. So anytime we can create those authentic audiences, right, and reach bigger groups, that's huge. I mean, that just creates these purposeful learning moments.
Jeff, do you think that, people should get into podcasting, or they really just need to be specific on their co-host, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you really have to get the right co-host. Your co-host should either be your wife or just like the most annoying person in your life. One or the other. Like, you got to go one in or the other. No, I love podcasts. I think it's a great place. If that's your medium, you may be a writer and therefore blogging is, but otherwise, or maybe videos, but podcasting is another way for you can share your thoughts and ideas and really let you get it out. But also, if you do a show like ours, like the PD we get from talking with other guests, but I also love talking with Hans, like both Hans and Jennifer, like just their conversations is PD as well the entire time. So like, however you do it, it's just another intentional moment of you learning and growing. I think that's awesome. But I want to touch on like that there is no grade level specific to the book, because I think that the key is that like, it's the principles and the pillars that you use and the ideas, like they're the foundation of good culture, regardless of anything. And we talked about that what I love is like, it's also not about, it doesn't have to be district wide, it doesn't have to be building wide, it can be from your classroom out. You can take these things from this book and it could be just in your classroom, just in your hallway, just in your building, just in your district. And then you can take that. We talked the other night, Hans, about, I think you can take that, you take the same things, the same foundation, the same ideas, and you can take it out to your community, to your business, to your sports team, to your organization, to your community events group, whatever. It doesn't stop there. And I think that's what's really, really awesome, is because all of those things need the culture to be award winning. It's just the way it should be. So,
Hans, will you speak a little bit to how the book's structured? Because I think that really is the way that you've designed this is not only something that you can read all the way through, but also something you can go back to for very specific things as well.
No, I'm glad you said that too, because it is structured, right? And there's this big overarching framework, which we can talk about. But I really wanted it to be something where you didn't have to implement it all at once. It really is like you can pull pieces, because I think it's overwhelming. Anytime we read something and we're inspired by it, then we want to jump right in and just like do everything. And then we know that doesn't work, right? We really can only focus on one or two things at a time. And so I'm glad you said that, Ray. The big idea as far as the book, character, excellence, and community, those are kind of our three pillars. So those are our three big sections of the book. Character being, will you do the right thing? Excellence being, will you do your very best? And basically community being, what will you do for others today? So each of those ends up being kind of an acronym in the book. And so we break those things down. And then the final section is just what we call our cultural maximizers. So these are all the other things that sort of support character, excellence, and community. But these are really character, excellence, and community. Those came about because those are our house rules at Wildcat Nation. So that's what we like, we don't look at rules as in, small little things like keep your hands and feet to yourself. We look at these big overarching ideas that literally apply to anyone, students, staff, parents, community. Everybody can buy into those ideas.
Well, and it's wonderful because it's not only a book that you could order, get hopefully shipped to your house as early as tomorrow and read all the way through, but you also have a book study attached to it. And award-winning culture is bigger than just a book. It's really all encompassing. So tell us a little bit about the book study. And then I want to get to kind of all the other things that they could be connected to connect more with award-winning culture as a whole, outside of it also being, it's going to be the best-selling book ever.
So over on awardwinningculture.com, we've set up a Teachable. So you can actually get on there and do a study guide kind of course. And that's something that's really nice if you want to do it on your own individually. We're also kind of having conversations with people that are started reaching out to us that want to do like a live book study, which I think would be super fun. That way I can interact with people and take questions and just, have some good times. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Award-winning culture as a whole is just a bigger movement. There's a whole lot of things we're doing. We mentioned the podcast. My wife has several projects, writing wise in the works that'll be coming out soon, Jennifer. But beyond that, we're doing speaking, we're doing coaching. A lot of it obviously right now is virtual because of what's, currently happening. But we're trying to get out and really support educators in their quest to create these exceptional school cultures, because we know this is kind of the foundation of everything else. A lot of people feel like SEL and whole child education is just like another thing on the plate. And the reality is it is the plate, right? That's what everything else sits on. Mm-hmm. So, we've found, that nothing else can really happen in a classroom in a major way until that culture is set. And classroom teachers already know this, right? Building leader principals know this. But I think, it's kind of pulling everybody together and unifying them. I think that's what this book can help do.
Absolutely. And I'm not only excited to implement these elements in my classroom, hopefully my full school, but I'm really hoping that Jeff really dives into award-winning culture and takes the book to heart so he can create more of a welcoming culture of our podcast, because he's very hostile sometimes.
We've got some work to do.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the director of culture for Teach Better, right?
So that's really Hans's fault.
Yeah,
like if you were thinking about it,
kind of taking a shot on me right now.
Yeah. I've actually hired Hans as a personal coach for myself. Because of where I'm at and the work that I need to do, we're actually meeting 16 hours a day for the next 32
Thank
weeks
God.
to get me where I need to be.
I'm going to need an assistant. I'm just saying,
we're hiring a team of assistants just for to deal with me. I do want to say good morning to Michelle. Good morning, Marna. Good morning, Becky. What's going on? Carly Smina's in the house. I love It's the Plate too. Someone else commented that I love It's the Plate. And someone else really wants to read the book, so go figure. So loving all the comments. When is the book study live? Is that live right now, Hans?
It is live right now.
They're getting that right now. Okay, great.
Yep.
And then Alex,
But don't leave now. I mean,
No, don't. Yeah,
Same
don't.
here.
Don't go.
But
Now-
is the book study free? Like if you grab the book,
absolutely. I'm glad you said that. It is. It's absolutely free. Yep.
Oh, I paid like $150 for it.
Not for you, Jeff.
Oh,
Not for
okay.
you.
I get it. Alex is suggesting that the live book study happens every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. just an idea Alex has.
what a great time.
Maybe that's what we'll do.
I
That's
like
awesome.
Carrie's comment. Hans and Ray, you can lead a horse to culture, but you can't.
Man.
Jeff, that's all you, buddy.
Wow, this is rough. Like I'm feeling
I think
attacked right now.
I think the three of us should go live all the time. Hans, this is a great partnership. I really appreciate you. And you picking on Jeff every so often just makes my morning even better.
Wow.
I'm just glad that I haven't been asked the Team Jeff, Team Ray question, because I told Jeff that's the question I've been like worrying about all week.
You know, Hans, I was trying not to ask it, but you just brought it up now. It doesn't matter anyway.
No.
Kim Bearden is Team Jeff. I win. I already
Pretty big. That's pretty big. I'm not going to lie.
Hans, I didn't need to ask you because I knew you were Team Ray. And so if you
Confidence.
wanted to publicly announce that, you can. But I knew inside. And Kim Bearden, I know that her and I are not really like close friends. She's one of the most influential mentors I've ever had. And that shirt was a lie. It was a docket photo. Jeff created that. There's no way that the woman I have like literally built my entire educational philosophy on is Team Jeff. There's no way.
I just want to note that Brienne says I'm cool. So get out of here. No, whatever. Okay. Truth be told, if I'm being fully transparent, yes, I did send Kim the shirt, but I asked her if that was okay first, and I explained my entire plan, and she laughed evilly with me. It was great, or at least I assume she did. It was actually via text, so I don't know whether she laughed, but I like to think she laughed.
I can't believe you texted Kim Bearden. Like, let's get back to Hans.
You know how many people are like the same that come up to me every day and they're like, I can't believe you text with Ray Hewart.
Okay.
Now, I just got like 4 texts this morning and messages are like, I can't believe you're talking to Hans Apple. He's
I know,
a freaking author. They're like,
Hans
I just bought his book. So let's go
Okay,
back
now
to
you're
that.
just making stuff up.
Baby Luke just became my least favorite baby in the world. Thanks, Andrea.
Oh,
No, I can't do that. That sucks. Now, like, if Baby Luke's Team Ray, like I have to be Team Ray. Like, that's not fair. He's not allowed to have a team. When will the book start?
I think the book study is what they're asking.
Maybe the book study. The book study is live, so you can get the book study right
Boom.
now. Go to awardwinningculture.com to get that. The book is live on Amazon. You can order it. You can get it on Kindle version right away. So you can get that going right now.
As far as the live book study, though, in case that's the question, we don't have a date yet, but I'd like to hear some feedback on that. So I would love to know kind of, when people would like to get something like that started.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really based around Amazon Barnes & Noble shipping schedule, right?
Yeah, that'll have something to do with it, yeah.
For everybody, like a week or so. I assume if you pre-ordered it, hopefully you're getting it like super early next week. Hopefully it comes in the mail Monday morning and you get to open it up. By the way, if you do that, you should video yourself opening it up for all our family listening. Show it off and tag Hans on social media.
Yes.
But then as people start getting the book, start diving into the first few chapters, then I hope you launch it because then you'll have a great community of people who have just gotten the book and can't wait to have that discussion.
Michelle says, let's start in a week. Adam says, June 1, kick off summer. Someone else says June 10th. How about, here's what I would like to see. Everyone who wants to do the book study, like, Hans can figure out a live one, but what's really cool is if you get a group of your peers together doing one, you guys can do it together and have Hans like Skype in with you guys and have him privately for a little bit. I'm just assuming he's going to say yes to this. I know that I've gotten to do a few of those, and it's really cool to like be able to jump in with a group of like 15, 20 teachers and they're on chapter 3 and you're like, oh, okay, that's awesome. I forget what chapter 3 is about, but let's talk about it. Right. And
That's
you go
amazing.
into it. And then, so I'm sure Hans will do that. So like do that. Shannon said it's showing June 5th through 12th for her on Amazon. So I do know when ours came, a lot of the shipping dates showed later, but they actually got there a lot faster. I think when they're first starting to print, I think Amazon puts like a buffer on it right away. But also we're also still in the middle of a pandemic, so it could be, I think, just in general a little bit slower. But
they're getting so many orders because there were so many people who are not only been pre-ordering it but also buying it that Amazon's overwhelmed. Sorry, Amazon. This is what happens when you want a good book.
Wait, are we breaking news? Are we breaking Amazon? Are we crashing that site?
I think it's
That's
done.
amazing.
I think it's done.
That's amazing.
I think it's done. So if what I would say is if you want a book study, keep an eye out. Obviously, we'll obviously be sharing that in Award Winning Culture, be sharing out like when that's going to happen live. But get some folks together and message Hans and get him on there. Bug him until he jumps into your book study. I think that'll be the way to go. So
no, I think you're right, because while you can read this on your own, it really is designed to be able to read with others, right? And so I love that idea of people, coming together in groups and having discussions about some of the concepts.
Well, and I had the same thought when I was reading like my sneak preview as I was reading it, saying there's so many things that as a teacher I can control and I can implement right off the bat with my students. But it is magical to be able to take the culture, a positive culture you create in your classroom, and see that school wide. So even if you're not sure kind of like if you can do it building wide or not, having brainstorming partners, having people you can talk to on how to implement this, even in your classroom or in a few different classrooms in the building, that's the perfect way to start something out, is to have those organic conversations. And this book can facilitate so many really challenging questions you ask your readers to discuss.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you definitely picked up on some of the challenges. I think, I hope, most books should challenge us, right? They should push us a little bit. Like, it shouldn't just be like you're nodding the whole time going, yeah, this is all great. Like, there should be things that kind of push some buttons. And I think that my book does that. I'm glad it did that a little bit for you, Ray.
It does. There are plenty of times that you're reading something and you're like, oh, like I need to chew on that a little bit more. That's,
Right.
I thought that was something I did, but maybe it's not. There's a lot of good thinkers in there. And I agree with you that that's really what makes a book powerful. If you're reading this book, we call them like beach books. Like you're not necessarily, you're putting Post-its in, but you're not necessarily like taking notes in the margins. You're really soaking all this information in. If you agree with every single page, then you might end inspired, but you may not go and like actually make change. And I think this book challenges you to really consider making changes in your life, in your school, in your classroom, which I love. So exciting.
Can I put you on the spot, Ray, since you have read just a little bit of it? Is there one thing that like after you read it, you were like, yeah, I want to try to work on that in my own school and in my own classroom?
There was. I think that there were a bunch of different pieces. One of the biggest ones was like wanting to make the entire school day purposeful. Like I think I loved that as I've learned about the school that you're in, as I've learned about all the elements. It's not just about making, your classroom special or your entire or like an activity, but really wanting to really like have the students be a part of that larger culture piece. It's not just about the control a teacher has or the control a principal has, but really using the students to provide that empowerment in the building. And I think that that's something that I realized I have more say in, I have more control in that I may have like thought in the past. And I want to figure out how to help with that, not only in my own classroom and on my own team, because I'm also in a middle school, but really building wide. I think that has really like created a new lens for me to consider.
Yeah, we call that mobilizing the students, right? And I love that resonated with you, because that was a huge part of our success and a lot of what I wrote about in the book was, it's got to go beyond educators, right? It's got to become the students that are sort of taking over this learning. you guys are in Teach Further and Mastery Learning and the Grid Method and all those things. And those are great examples of what's going on in exceptional cultures, where it really is the students leading the way.
Yeah, and I had an interesting perspective reading the book because I am currently in a school with a principal who puts a ton of emphasis on culture. Truly, his huge focus is culture in the building. And that's actually, I tell him all the time, that's why I love working for him. Because when you walk into our school, it feels good. But to be completely transparent with you, Hans, it's all him. Like, I don't necessarily get as involved as I should because I'm kind of like, oh, the principal takes care of that. And the reality is that he might be sparking the fire to make that happen. He might be the person that might start the facilitation. But as the teacher, I really need to take more ownership, and the students really need to continue that leadership so it can populate throughout everyone in the building. And so it was just interesting to think about, going back to school next year, how I can help with that more.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if it's a team of people, right? It's not just your principal. Imagine if, you have student leaders that are doing that. Imagine if you have passionate teachers. Boy, I mean, that's really where you become special as a school, I think.
Very
yeah, I agree. Andrea is seconding that your principal is awesome. Chris really is really great at that. Good morning to Tammy. Tammy's checking in late, but here. Glad to have you here. Shannon says, me too, as far as her principal. She loves Don Epps, and which made me ask, I can't wait. I actually cannot wait to hear Don Epps' reaction to reading this book, because Don Epps really does, like, if you go to his school, you're like, holy crap, like this is culture, like really good. And he's someone that's going to eat this book up, and it's going to allow him to take what is already an amazing culture in his school, and he inflicts it into the entire district. And I think he's going to take the pieces from this book and just level it up to an extent that's unbelievable. And like someone like your, like Chris, the same thing. And that's what I love about the book, is that you can take those little things. Like, Brett, you have a great culture in your room, and you've already taken a lot away from reading a book that you want to go further. So like this is great for someone who's already really good at it, who's already really passionate about it, who already does it very well. You can grab these little things. You're going to grab something that triggers something differently in your head, and you're going to take it to that next level. And I think that's that can be extremely powerful in so many different classrooms and buildings, which is really cool. So,
well, and Hans, I'd love for you to speak to Alex's comment. He says a person can spark a movement, only a team can. I'm sorry, a person can spark a moment, only a team can spark a movement. Right?
Yeah, I would say it starts with one person, but just being that one person and being committed to that over and over really inspires other people to jump on that movement. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's critical. I love that you brought up Don Epps, because he's got a quote in my book, which is, he's going to love that when he sees awesome. That. But he's a rock star. He gets it. But I think the cool part about this book is, there's elements of this that he's doing in his school, but I know, having talked to him, that there's some intentionality pieces that he's just going to love.
Yeah.
Because like for instance, I know they do a greeting at the door where they're like, going out there and making sure that everybody is feeling welcome as people come in. But there's some little subtleties that I think will elevate what he's doing to a whole nother level. So I'm absolutely thrilled to hear what Don says.
Hans, would you mind speaking to that intentionality? I think one of the cautions that I think a lot of teachers have when they think about a book that's about culture, they're like, oh, this is going to be a really fluffy book, right? It's going to be a lot of inspirational stories. It's going to be like empowering about like an inspiring, but like, will it really give me enough detail to actually make change and duplicate it in my school? Or is it just going to be like, wow, this school in Washington is just so amazing. Good for them. I hope someday I can go visit. And I want to speak to, if you can, that intentionality piece, I think, is the dividing factor between a book of fluff about culture and a book that can actually change culture.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the intentionality is really the specifics that go into it, right? It's the things that, as we sort of break down an event or, whatever the thing is, the moment that we're trying to create, maybe it's a kindness moment. It's how do we actually do that so that it goes beyond special, right? So one of the examples that I use in the book is, random acts of kindness. If we were to go and just hand out pencils and just randomly, try to like brighten people's day in the hallway, we may or may not hit the person that actually needs that. Maybe it's Jeff Gargas who needs a little pick-me-up today. And if I know that, sometimes it is Jeff, right? Mm-hmm. If I know that, then I can actually target Jeff, and I could be really intentional with what drives Jeff, what motivates this guy, what is he about, what is his love language, right? I mean, for lack of a better word, like what lights him up. And if I can know that about students and about staff, and I can teach, the entire school to really look for those moments and be curious about other students and other staff members, that's when really exceptional moments happen, right?
Yeah.
Chocolate and barbecue ribs. That's what lights me up. Not necessarily together.
Combo.
Not necessarily together, just like in general, But so I want to talk. I love that you brought that up, Ray, because I was thinking about it and getting ready to say it, but you said it so much better. But like, I don't know if you remember, Hans, the first time you and Jen and I talked for, more intentionally, I guess, about things. I actually asked you, I'm like, so like, what makes it award winning? Like, I know you won awards, but what makes it award winning? And the word that you said, I can't remember if it was you or Jen, was literally, you went intention.
Yeah.
Like, it's this intentionality of like being very intentional about everything. And I think that's the difference between why this book, like, there's fluff in the book. It'll make you feel good. It'll give you great ideas, but the intentionality of the book also makes the difference. And I think that's such a big piece of, when you're talking about that, I'm thinking back to my past lives where I'm managing outside of education and all the teams that I've managed, and the intentionality of, you were talking about like me as an example, but knowing who needs it and what they need. You can still do all the other things that touch everybody, but then you find those moments to be really intentional. Those are the ones that like truly impact and completely change the way someone else now functions within your culture, and therefore enhances your culture. And that's massive, in my opinion.
Well, and we've been talking a lot of, I was just yesterday talking with Dr. Shemaine Bertrand, who's a part of our speakers network. And one of the quotes that she uses all the time, really referring to equity, is you can't teach those you don't know. And that's that idea that you really do need to know your students to be able to serve them. That doesn't just apply when we're talking about content or equity gaps. That applies with culture. You can't create a culture for an audience that you don't take the time to get to know. And so I love that intentionality piece, not only with the students, not only with the staff, but for the entire ecosystem of the school. That's how you make a difference. And that's how it's sustainable, right? When we talk about scalability, that's how you keep it every single day, all year long.
Well, I like that you said it's for everybody, because we think in terms of just focusing on the students a lot of times, but also getting the students to reflect that right back to the adults. Mm-hmm. So for instance, we used to have a lot of issues with lunchtime behavior. We had, messes, food fights, all that kind of normal, just chaos in the lunchroom. One of the things that we did was really get our students to create relationships with our custodians, because when they started seeing them as humans, as real people, they suddenly realized, oh, this is our space and we need to make sure that we're taking care of it. This isn't just this guy's job to come over here and clean up after us. Mm-hmm. So it just changes the way that discipline works. It changes behavior in your school. And all that stems from, that curiosity, right? That listening and understanding people, and understanding that Jeff Gargas likes ribs and chocolate, apparently.
Well, I just want to say that Dave suggested that someone buys me some baked wings and bourbon. So now I don't eat fried food anymore. So like my wings have to, I'm usually it would be wings and chocolate, but I'm anyway.
I do want to tell Holly, because she says we need to do coffee next week. I feel like I'm losing a friend because the daily drop-ins
that's actually, I think that's Dave telling Holly that, because the other day we connected, we said that they had to be friends on the webinar. So I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Dave and Holly are trying to have that, which is making me say, Holly, next week when Dave and I do our cocktails and randomness, you need to jump in and do that with us. You can bring coffee. That's fine. Just saying.
I do want to say, though, then this is only for those of you that are listening right now, because we're 38 minutes in. And so this will be like secret information. So keep this on the down low. Jeff and Chad are going to go live Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern, not for a daily drop-in, but for a very special lesson that a lot of people have been asking for. So I know that's not public yet, but I'll let you know, just because I know it's happening and I'm spilling all the secrets, that you will have a little Jeff and Chad Tuesday morning.
It's going to be
fun conversation.
Little lots of chat. I'm literally going live with chat because I want to put the quarter in and just push go because we got he's been if you haven't been in like in either the free PD or in a lot of we have an admin mastermind. If you're an admin, like some of the stuff that Chad's been going on, we just feel like is super important, needs to get out further. So
people keep asking, and so they ask and ask and ask, and I'm like, oh, we talked about that during our mastermind. Oh, we talked about that during our free webinar series. And so we're like, let's just go live and set the record straight and really talk shop about this idea. So again, Holly asked, it'll be Tuesday at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. So normal daily drop-in time. I know the daily drop-in is kind of ending today, but hopefully on Tuesday, you'll join us again with your coffee and participate.
I appreciate that, Jeff. But again, she's asking about the cocktail and randomness, not that. Again, so she's more about me and Dave right now. Like
whatever.
Team Jeff Dave. Hashtag Team Jeff Dave. Jeff,
I want to go back to Hans and you were talking. Hans brought up love languages. Jeff, what is your love language? I know that you like, ribs and chocolate, which is a weird, disgusting combination. But is that really it? Like, do you like gifts? Is that usually your love language?
I like little things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be gifts. It could be time or messages and stuff. But like the little things that seem little and stupid are really important to me. That's why I do those a lot of time to people. So like, but yeah, I don't know if I know my love language, honestly. Like it could go a few different ways. I read that book a long time ago. I don't remember all the love languages.
Hans, what about you? Is yours?
Hans, give us what are they? How many are there? I forget what all the languages are.
I'll just give you mine. Yeah, there are, but I think mine is probably just praise. I like that. Yeah,
me too.
Do you? Yeah.
Well, you and I have talked like before. Like it's praise, like it's legacy for me. Like I want people to. I said to you, like I want Hans to come to my funeral. Like that seems dark or whatever, but like I do. Like I want him, or like I said to you, Hans, I think the one time, like what I want is hopefully, we'll still be friends, but like in 15 years, if we haven't talked and someone's bad mouthing me, I want you to go, no, you don't know him. I know him and he's not that. Right. Like that, like it's praise, but it's more like almost internal. Like I want to know, and I don't know how I figure that out. I guess, if I can look in on my funeral, but like, that's what I want people to feel like, hey, that guy touched my life. And so when I get that praise back, that's what that does for me, I think. So
I like the specific praise, not just the, hey, you're awesome, but it's like, here's exactly what you're doing. And that's one of the things that we teach in this book is, when students are, writing a note to a teacher or, communicating in some way, it really is about all the little language that they use. They can't just say, hey, Mrs. Hewitt, you're my favorite teacher. Because that sounds great, but it's like, why is Mrs. Hewitt your favorite teacher? Let's pick, let's pick that apart. And so that's pretty important to me as far as those specifics. What's yours, Ray?
Well, I do have to say, I know that Jeff, this is going to feel weird for a second, but Andrea is saying Jeff is so good at the little things. Guys, that is totally true. Hans, I'm sure you've seen examples, and I'm confident that Jen has also seen examples. Jeff is like the best person to work for because he's constantly doing things that he doesn't have to do that he does anyway. Like, so it's like a pick-me-up message in the morning or a little gift that's like appears in the mail for absolutely no reason. Honestly, like all jokes aside, Jeff, you are so good at that stuff. I didn't even know that I needed that or wanted that until I joined the Teach Better team. And now it's like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to just randomly be reminded how much you're appreciated. And I know Andrea commented because I know she feels the same way. Becky just commented about it as well. Like if there is anything Jeff Gargas is good at, and trust me, there's plenty he's not good at, but if there's anything he is good at, it's about like reminding people that they are valued. And I think that if all leaders, whatever capacity that means, if you could be better at that, it makes a massive difference.
But I also think it's super important to like let those people know that, right? Yeah. Because we do have principals like that. We have leaders that are doing those amazing things. Your leader at your school, Ray, might be that kind of person as well. But I think we have to go back and say, hey, Jeff, this is something that you're doing that really does make a difference to me, right? People need to hear those things.
I do want to make one correction. No one works for me. Everyone works with me. Like, just want to make sure that like
I'm actually Jeff's boss. I just want the world to be reminded of that.
I'm pretty sure Michelle's the boss,
She is the boss.
but
Sometimes
whatever.
I think it's Becky though. Becky kind of runs the world.
Sometimes Becky is, unless we're and I don't know, but sometimes I every now and then Caitlin comes in. And I'm pretty sure I'm like, oh, I think Caitlin's the boss. So,
True. Yeah, Hans. I don't know.
changes all the time.
Yeah, I don't know, Hans, if you've experienced that, but sometimes Caitlin comes in and puts her foot down, and you're like, "All right, boss."
Okay. Didn't even know you were in this conversation, but all right, we're doing your way. I think
she announced to me that I was doing some writing projects for her the other day, and I was like, "All right, you bet, yes, ma'am."
You doing this for me? All right, yeah. Sure. Ray, I appreciate the compliment, and same with I saw Andrew and Megan and Becky all in there too, so I appreciate that a lot. Today, though, Hans is the boss.
Yes, author Hans Apple.
# boss author. Boss author? Yeah, that works. So I'm good with that.
It's a new thing. I'm just glad we're done with the Jeff love here. That was enough. That was a lot all at once there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do want to. Someone somewhere else before all that Jeff love come in. Someone did make a comment that I need to make sure that it's on video as well and address that with the whole Kim Bearden thing when that came out. Ray tweeted out that she couldn't believe that her best friend did that. I just want to make sure that in her that was like a Trump tweet. Like she didn't plan that out, right? She just went at it, right? So that's like the truth. That's how she really feels, like a drunk tweet. So I just want everyone to know that best friend.
I think it auto corrected somehow. I don't know what happened.
Fair enough.
Ryan he missed the name of the book. We've been talking about the book a lot, but Hans, in the beginning of this live video, you did this wonderful kind of like summary of the book title, where they can find it, what it's about, and it keeps popping in now. What
book? Like what? We're talking about a book.
Hans book.
All right, go ahead. I'm done. I'm gonna leave.
Wait, is there a way to mute Jeff for a second?
I can take him out of the stream. Let's just do this for everybody. There we go.
That's way better. Yeah, my book is called Award-Winning Culture, and it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. We're also doing signed copies on our website, which is awardwinningculture.com. And it's really a book for all educators focusing on school culture and climate and creating those joy-filled learning environments by serving the whole child.
I love it. I'm so excited for people to get in the mail. And to be honest, Hans, can I just tell you, because I don't know that we've actually talked about this on camera, I love the book cover. It is like so perfect. I think if you saw it on the shelf, even if you didn't know what it was about, you'd be like, I need that. It's perfect I'm going to change my entire classroom. It's going to be awesome.
I appreciate you saying that, because it's hard to it's like your baby. I've worked on this book for 2 years, and you really want that cover to come to life. So that means a lot.
And for people who don't know, Hans is obsessed with red, and so it's very fitting that it's red.
It works though. Like it makes sense that it's red. It works. It had to be red. It had to be red. Like it's
so powerful.
So can we please give away a few copies? Can we just
let's do it?
We do that. So all week, I'm gonna let you explain the question, Hans, and then I think you've got some. Can you read off the answers too? But all week we've been pushing out. Hans been pushing out with a question that you were supposed to be answering on social media with hashtag Award-Winning Culture. And there's been some really good ones coming in. And then there's 5 people that participated are going to get free copies. Correct?
Well, let's clarify. There was a lot of people that participated.
Only 5 are getting it. Yes.
I was overwhelmed. Only 5 winners, and it could be on any social media platform. And Hans, will you share out the winners and what they shared?
I will. I'm going to read them up. Yes. Like so first off, the question was, how does whole child education foster joy? That's really, I would say, the big idea in my book. So I really wanted to get people thinking about that. So Alicia Ray, author of what is it?
iExam. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
iExam.
Fun.
Amazing book.
She won, right?
She's a winner.
Awesome.
She's a winner.
She's a winner. I love it.
I want to read off what she wrote. It's really good. It's easy to be happy when teaching, but finding the joy requires a mindset shift that can be different when one doesn't teach with whole child approach. It's not just academics. It's celebrating children who they are as people. I can't read, but yes.
That's all right. That's a good one. I like that one. All right. So congrats to Alicia Ray. She's a good friend of ours, and that's
Do you
awesome.
have
She's
her
down-
handle? That's also, I hope everybody goes and follows
yeah.
her. She's a great
Good point.
educator to be connected
she-
to as well.
she just-
I love educating.
Yeah, that's right. But it's
LUV.
Yes, I love
LUV.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So our next winner is John Green. He's at John2_4 for Ed. Yeah. For Ed. So John Green, he's a principal down in the South. He wrote, "For me, whole child education is what started my educational journey. How to navigate life first, conquer content second. How can I help young people find meaning and happiness in life? Knowing when they find that, they can find success." I like that.
Awesome. Well, congrats
John
to
Green's the
John
winner.
Green. That's awesome. That's 2. We got
Carly Spina.
Carly, and I know Carly's in here right
Yeah,
now.
you're watching right
Are you
now.
still watching? I hope she
Yes.
is. Oh, that's awesome, Carly Spina. Nice.
So, yeah, I love this answer. Whole child education can foster joy by centering our energy on our students and not our content. Boom. That should be a bumper sticker. That's
It
good.
should be.
Pretty much like most of what Carly says should be bumper stickers. That's just
And she's writing a book too.
She is.
Yeah, it's coming. That's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
Carly's
Okay, so Portia Dudley is our
Sure.
4th winner. Portia's an elementary principal. She wrote, "When we meet the social, emotional, and academic needs of all our students, we are truly supporting them as people and for all of who they are. By doing so, they are seen and heard, and their individual needs are met. This brings joy." I like that.
Yeah.
And the last winner, we have 5 winners. This
Oh
will be
my
the
gosh.
last winner. Otherwise, you'll have to go get your signed copy at awardwinningculture.com or order on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. I feel like there should be a drum roll, some confetti. I know, that was it.
There it is. We're good.
That's
Let's
it.
go.
Okay. I hope she's watching.
She is. I'm seeing her comment.
All right. So Brianne Fennell.
Brianne, I just want to know that she's congratulated everyone in the comments.
Yeah.
Yes. So Brianne, I love this. This was actually my favorite one. And she wrote, "Educate the whole child, not what you want the child to be, not what you envision their life to be like, not what is in your lesson plan book. Find out what makes them happy and human and do that." Like, mic drop. Jeez.
Mic drop.
It's like good stuff.
That's awesome. Nice job, Bree. Congrats.
That was really good.
I'm pretty sure that's her saying, "What?" Yes, because she didn't put her name. She's too excited. She's put her name on every single comment, but she didn't on that one. Carly
That's
says,
an awesome
"Thank
answer.
you." That's definitely Bree. Super excited there. We got congratulations coming in. So that's awesome. So 5 people getting the book. Congratulations to all of you. That's super cool. Hans, are you going to reach out to each one of them?
Absolutely. Yep. We're going to be
So
sending that off.
Keep a lookout for Hans reaching out to you for that. That's super cool. I'm so pumped for you, man. This is like, we were talking another night, and now like that was like 2 days ago, and now we're here. Like, this is cool.
It's really cool. It's
So
crazy.
proud. Yeah, so proud of the work you're doing. It's so exciting that this is finally out. People can have their hands on the book. And I actually hope, Hans, I loved your question. It sparked so much conversation. I saw specifically on Twitter, but I know it's been shared other places as well. If you are still interested in just responding to the question, I know that all of us on the Teach Better team, including Hans, the amazing new author of Award-Winning Culture, will be following the hashtag Award-Winning Culture and Teach Better to see your responses. So even though we already have our 5 winners, you can still respond to how whole child education brings you joy, because there are some great conversations being sparked from those responses.
And I want to say, if you feel like you still need some more Hans, and the book's not going to be here quick enough, you guys are set up next week, right? You and Jen leading the free PD is next week. So
Monday.
we have our free PD this afternoon at 3:00 Eastern with the Q&A with Kevin Butler, which Monday was unreal. And the Q&A is going to be a lot of blast, a lot of fun. Next week we're focused on what do we actually? I'm trying to think of the
End of year
celebrations.
celebration.
Yes, thank you. I wasn't going to say it in the right phrase. But Jennifer and Hans are leading that. So on Monday, you're going to get an hour of training we went through the slides. It's good. And then next Friday is Q&A with them as well. So if you're not there, go ahead.
I'm doing Master Chat next week.
You are doing Master Chat next week.
It's
Yeah, so
like this whole Hans Fest is just going
2
to
weeks,
continue.
baby. I love it. So if you're not in the free PD yet, it's free. You can get the replays for all the past ones, and then obviously get the live stuff and replays for all the future stuff here. Teachbetter.com/webinar series. So make sure you get that, and then obviously get in a Master Chat next week with Hans leading as well. I forgot about that. That's a nice.
So
we're going to be talking about reimagining culture.
Ooh,
so
I like it.
Which I can also throw in. Reimagining Culture is also one of the many packages that you're a part of for the Come Back Better series that the team is doing. If you are looking to have your school kick off with the right message in August, Hans is partnering with the team as a part of the Speakers Network to provide a Come Back Better package all about reimagining culture. So this just goes full circle. Your entire world should be Hans Apple focused with award-winning culture. There's so many good things, so many good conversations between the free webinar, the mastery chat, and everything else that we're doing. So Hans, you're just an all-star all around.
So Adam says Hansapalooza.
Yes,
Bree,
I like it.
A nice play on words, says Hans is never solo with the Teach Better team support.
Ooh, Star Wars.
Good morning, Alan. Good to see you jumping in. And Dave says, Hans, you rock. Thanks for waking up so early for us today. That's. I mean, it is. I mean, you and Jen are always up early, so I don't know.
We are up early
earlier today.
Yeah.
You did get up and get on camera super early, and we appreciate it a lot. So make sure you go check out awardwinningculture.com. Check out the podcast. We talked about it earlier, but I do want to stress, like, the podcast is really, really good, and the 12th episode releases this Sunday, right? So that's going to be every
Sunday.
You can get that at teachbetter.com/podcast. You can also obviously get it at awardwinningculture.com or any of your favorite podcast platforms. So make sure you get in there. Do we have any last words that we want to leave everyone with on this Friday to take into their day right now, Hans?
No, I appreciate everybody getting. Oh, Ray has something to say. Go ahead.
Go get the book.
I just appreciate everybody getting up. I just appreciate everybody getting up kind of all spring for these daily drop-ins. And so it's been sort of amazing for me to be a part of the very last one, at least for now, until next week when they're back.
I love it.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a revolt and you're going to be back at this in about 2 weeks. I think Adam said that earlier, and I'm pretty confident that's going to happen, but it's all good.
We have had like 30 some people watching the entire time. So, I'm not doing that. Carrie just ordered the book. Awesome, Carrie.
Yes.
Ray, did you have something else you wanted to leave people with? You did a little, or you were just telling them to go buy the book. That was your hand.
Go buy the book.
Great. I love it. Awesome. Well, appreciate all of you watching, listening, chiming in. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, sharing, all that good stuff that we're supposed to talk about with social media and junk. And get into the free PD series that is today with Kevin Butler, next week with Jen and Hans. And then we have Mandy Fraley coming up the week after that. And then rounded it out with Chad and Ray. And I'm on those typically too. So I'm just there to goof around. But we'll see you there. We'll see. I'm just the face that makes it just a little less pretty. So we'll see you all there. Hans, truly appreciate you. Super excited for you. Everyone have an amazing Friday, amazing weekend. And we'll see you later.